language models are just like AI models. They get pre-trained with large voluminous data sets and get answer for the questions whenever a user gives an prompt. Whenever a user gives a prompt with predictions or randomness or through probability, it would generate outputs or answers. So, large language models are capable enough of understanding the human language and are also capable enough of generating human-like language. The behind technology of the working process of LLMs are deep learning, which is nothing but neural networks. With the help of this technology, the LLM could able to do all kind of NLP tasks like summarizing the text, understanding the human input, uh, uh, next generating quotes, translation of languages, etc. There are various types of LLMs like GPT 3.5, GPT 4, Google Gemini, Palm, Llama, Claude, etc. Next, key features of LLMs. LLMs key features include get training with uh, large amounts of data sets, and then considering only the relevant keywords which would be useful for later purposes, and ignoring all the stop words, punctuation marks, and unnecessary words that does not include more meaning. And then uh, creating, generating, summarizing, and analyzing, interpreting the text. LLM's workflow include training with large voluminous data of various kinds of data sets, and then breaking down the whole data sets into smallest individual units known as tokens, and then assigning each token a unique uh, value which is understandable by it, and then able to put attention on the relevant keywords and understanding its meanings. um, um, and then uh, predicting the next word, which is nothing but whenever the user gives half of the sentence as a prompt, and the LLM could able to predict the next part of the sentence. For example, there are garden full of is the user prompt given by the user, and it would predict that next part of the sentence might be flowers. So the final sentence would be there are garden full of flowers, just like that. And then mm, there are various ways of using LLMs. LLMs can be used in various kinds. Like the first type is web and app integration. The LLM could able to use can be used as a application in our mobiles that we can download it from Play Store or get it accessed via as a website from our laptop. Just like ChatGPT can be downloadable uh, from our mobile phone through Play Store and access it as a website from our Google Chrome. The other one is API based access rather than building an LLM from scratch. Most of the organizations just put API as one of the parts of their web application. Meta AI API is used by both WhatsApp and Instagram. So it is one of the parts of their web application, just like all groups, charts, reels, etc. Meta AI is one of the part in it, part of the web application. And then Hugging Face model replication is nothing but making the LLMs to perform only specific tasks that are suitable for them. Like Flipkart chatbots are only responsible for answering for the questions raised by customers, but is not responsible for answering the general knowledge questions like what is the capital of India and all. It is only responsible for asking the questions like when I would receive the order, can I cancel the order, just like that. And then local deployment is nothing but running your private LLMs. These are mostly suitable for personal use or for the organizations which restrict only its employees to have access to the um, their private LLM and ignoring all of the people outside their premises. Whenever they use private LLMs, they run them locally so that their communication between the LLMs are restricted to them, only to the organization, and not will not reach until the actual owners or the outside world. So it increases the privacy, security, and confidentiality for concerns. And then retrieval augmented generation is nothing but not only with the actual pre-trained data, this type of LLM could able to render the external resources also for answering the questions, so that the answers are more accurate and precise rather than generating some random answer. The answers generated by RAG based LLMs are more accurate and precise. For example, mm, an LLM is trained with the data which is available till 2020, and a user uses that LLM in 2025 and gives a prompt to that LLM. With the help of the pre-trained data, the data which is not trained in between 2020 to 2025 also uh, gets infused into that LLM without any external human intervention. It learns to itself, understand it, interpret it, analyze it, and then able to generate the precise, accurate answer. The external documentaries, even though it is not trained with it. So, AI in medical. For example, there are some of the symptoms for the diseases that are erased in 2020, and a human is now suffering with some other disease with some similar symptoms. And then, as the AI model is not trained in between these 5 years, 2020 to 2025, it could able to sense it uh, with the external documentaries, learn to itself, train by itself, and generate the answer and suggest what kind of disease he's suffering with now. Next, fine tuning is nothing but making a LLM model ready only to perform the domain specific tasks and is not inculcated with any external complexities. Only to perform the domain specific tasks, this LLM model is designed so that it could be very accurate in that specific domain. Example, uh, LLM in medicals or AI in healthcare, just like that. And then AI agents are nothing but they are meant for automation and also to answer or respond like humans. So whenever we give a prompt, the answer from the LLM would just be similar to that of the answer given by the human. Uh, and also, AI agents are responsible for providing us the suggestions based upon our previous chart history or the previous visiting hours or like that. And then base model or foundation model is nothing but the base for all the AI tasks. It is responsible for having or to give answer for any type of questions. Like basically, this model is trained with all kinds of data that is available globally, uh, and is not meant only to domain specific. It is trained with multiple data sets so that it could answer for any kind of questions like what is the capital of India, or it could generate codes, or it could transform one form of language to another language, etc. Example is ChatGPT. Next, applications of LLMs. LLMs are used everywhere, like in chatbots, assistants like Siri, and then they are used for code generation, for code translation, language translations, sentiment analysis, customer recommendations, etc. Next, a private LLM or network setup for a company. Private LLM is nothing but an LLM which is meant for only the personal use or for the entrepreneur use or for organizational use that enhances more security, privacy, confidentiality concerns. Rather than a public API, it is a private API that is meant for you and your employees with some uh, confidentiality or credentials upon it. Uh, so this private LLMs you can run in your local systems and get access to it without having your data to be passed on to its actual owners or the outside world. Mm, these private APIs enhances data security, customization, control over AI capabilities within a company. These are ideal for finance, legal use cases, and for high applications. And then, in order to set up private LLMs, there are some of the requirements need to be matched up with, like hardware requirements, software requirements, compatibility issues, etc. Whenever you want to create a small private LLM, it should have about 16 plus core CPU and 64 GB RAM. When you want to create a enterprise scale, then it should be a 32 plus core CPU and 128 GB RAM with 10 Gbps network. And for larger models, you require multiple GPUs and or cloud clusters, and software requirements are mostly Ubuntu operating system is recommended with Hugging Face or llama.cpp. Dependencies are transformer storage sentence piece, database for RAG is Face, Pinecone, ChromaDB, and for security purposes, virtual private networks, firewalls, gateways, role-based access control, credentials, confidentiality, authenticity, authorizations are required. And then steps to create, build, or and to deploy private LLM includes choosing a LLM model that matches with your system compatibility, and then download it locally, install it, give your authentication credentials, um, and then fine tune that model or the LLM with your domain specific data, and then deploy it using a Flask API or Fast API so that your organization employees could only able to access them, secure them with VPNs and firewalls, set up gateways and firewalls, and make sure for making sure that no outside employee could able to access it, and no data breach or unauthorized access could occur. And then optimize for production. Prepare the model in such a way that it is capable enough of handling large amounts of data, and does not compromise for its performance, scalability, and accessibility. And then use cases of private LLMs. These private LLMs are mostly useful for our personal use, organizational or entrepreneurial use, healthcare, legal, AI, finance, and RAG-based AIs. To create our private LLM and run it locally, first of all, we need to install LM Studio. Once you click on the top link, you will find download LM for Windows. Once you click on it, it gets downloaded. Once you download it and give uh, access to it, and then it gets installed in your laptop, and then search for LM Studio in your laptop. Then LM Studio will be open in your laptop. Mm, now, uh, under Discover, search for the uh, LLM model you want, and that should match with your system capabilities. For example, this Gwen is of 4.68 GB, DeepSeek is of 4.92 GB. There are various LLMs available. Download the LLM that will match with your system compatibility. I have downloaded this. DeepSeek for my laptop, and let's see how it works. And whenever you download it, the interface looks like this. And you can ask questions here. What is the capital of India? Whenever you give a prompt to it, it will generate the answer. The capital of India is New Delhi. This is your um locally built LLM. We can use it for yourself, and the communication will be in between you and this LLM only, and this data will not reach to the actual owner, or may not be reachable to the will not be reachable to the external world. Another advantage of this of building this local LLM is that you can run it locally without an internet connection, and you need not pay a single penny for this. You can use this LLM just like your ChatGPT in your local system without any active internet connection. In offline, you can have access to this, and for any question, it would generate the answer. Um, so this is how the output look like, just like an interface we have it for a ChatGPT.